Welcome to Manga Experts. We are back with another top 10 recommendation list. If you like our videos, please leave a like and subscribe for regular updates of our videos. Without any further ado, let's get started. Number 10. Nostalgic Warrior. So Chun-ho returns to his homeland after a decade of war and learns that his father has passed away and his disciple brother, who was no different from his family, had disappeared without a trace. He briefly spends pleasant days with his childhood friend, So-hye, but is entrusted with her daughter, Hui-yeon, before she dies of a disease. Chun-ho, who has lost everything, starts an endless war against the martial artists in order to protect Hui-yeon. This Murim manhwa is quite refreshing. The main character is a veteran martial artist, not just in name, but he also acts like one. He is also quite ruthless. The side characters are written well. The art is nice on the eyes, and fight scenes really pack a punch. The world building is looking decent for now. This is a must-try for guys who want a mature and ruthless main character. Number 9. Infinite Level Up in Murim. Tang Yu-sung, a junior warrior with no talent or low-level training, died on the battlefield. But when he opened his eyes and thought what kind of underworld it was, he returned to his childhood past to change the future. This time, he was reincarnated with the system. The system assigns mission to the main character and rewards him for doing those missions. In this life, he's gonna use this system and rise to the top of the powerhouse pyramid and take his sweet revenge. The art of this manhwa starts off pretty mediocre, but it improves a lot later on. The fight scenes are also transitioned very well. The characters are written well. Pacing of the plot can be a bit slow, which can put some readers off. Other than that, it's a solid Murim manhwa with a system. Number 8. Storm In. Known simply as the devil to his enemies, Jang Ki-lin dominated battles for 13 years as commander of the Red Dragon Cavalry. At the end of it all, he wants only one thing: to live an ordinary life. Upon leaving active duty, he heads to the notorious Gold Line Road to purchase the Stormy Inn, which requires serious repair. Ki-lin assembles a ragtag crew to help him run the place, but with rival inns determined to sabotage him, living an ordinary life may be more challenging than winning a war. The main character spent most of his life in war, and now that the war is over, he needs to live a normal life as an innkeeper. But he's too gullible and novice for this so-called peaceful world, which is filled with treachery, jealousy, and politics. Everyone around the main character can tell that he has zero experience in the business field. MC is overpowered from the start, but running a restaurant requires more brains than battle experience, so he can act a bit naive sometimes. I really love the main character, and the staff he recruits are all lovely people. The art is above average, which can put some readers off. Number 7. Peculiar Tales of Swords and Blades. The sixth son of the Lee family in southern Tang, Lee Kongjia, has his eyes set on conquering the world. While posing as a playboy who indulges in poems and songs from brothels, he secretly trains a troop of capable warriors in an attempt to seize the throne. He also manipulates the Tang family of the Shu Kingdom. This is a martial arts manhwa made in the style of a manga. The art is quite nice, the story is good, but it can get confusing sometimes. The plot moves at a nice and slow pace. There are many good fight scenes in it. Overall, it's a good traditional Murim-type story with a lot of twists and turns and a good cast of characters. Number 6. Reincarnated Escort Warrior. Main character's dream was to become an escort warrior that rides on a cool horse and transports goods. But he has a limp leg and he's unable to learn decent martial arts. He lived as a porter working odd jobs for the entirety of his life, until he died because of the mountain bandits that he met during an escort mission. After he opened his eyes, he was in the body of Lee Jung-ryong, a trash fourth young master of Heavenly Dragon Escort Agency. He was previously known as a weakling, but now he's gonna become the strongest escort warrior. The story of this manhwa is nothing new, but it really nails it in the execution department. The main character has a very likable personality and a good mindset. The side characters are amazing. They never feel repetitive or fillers. There are also some good drama elements in it. The art is gorgeous to look at and the world building is smooth as well. Number 5. Heavenly Inquisition Sword. Yeon Joka was a child of a second wife. Viciously bullied by his father's first wife and his siblings, he was later imprisoned in a warehouse after his father died of illness. The main character is quite innocent at the start because he's raised in a close environment without much outside interactions. After he learns martial arts from a mirror, which is a secret of his family, he runs away from home and eats red-colored mushroom on a hill. After that, he fades out and is rescued by a ragtag team of bandits who are more family-friendly than his stepmom. Those bandits teach him about the outside world. Our MC has one biggest power, and that is his ability to learn things quickly. He can learn sword skills by just looking at them once. He becomes pretty much overpowered after a few chapters. Characters in this manhwa are wholesome. Art is also top tier. The world building is quite immersive. Number 4. Martial Wild West. In a world where the Han Empire never fell, martial arts is a power used to squeeze the people dry. So when a new continent is discovered, both good and evil men alike flee to settle there and escape the tyranny of the emperor, opening up the era of a martial Wild West. In this turbulent frontier, Zhang Qian is a man that reincarnated from our cushy modern world, but his new world is nothing like the fantastical world he dreamed about from reading martial arts novels. While the martial arts in his new world are powerful, they are also too crude and lack elegance. And so Qian journeys the new continent for his dream of bringing true martial arts back to the new martial realm. This manhwa is a breath of fresh air for Murim genre fans. It's set in the Wild West setting, which is something new for Murim genre. It starts off a bit generic with what seems like a run-of-the-mill overpowered main characters, but it becomes much better after the first few chapters when the main character engages in combat with bandits. Fight scenes in this manhwa really pack a punch, and sometimes there can be a little bit of beheadings, which is even better. There's a little bit of problem in the art department. Sometimes the facial animations of the characters are inconsistent, which can put some readers off, but you will not even realize it if you are not paying too much attention to it. The side characters are well written, and the way the main character treats them is quite good. The main character's horse reminds me of the horse from Yeonbi, which is one of my favorite Murim manhwas of all time. Overall, it's an awesome manhwa if you are into overpowered main character stuff. Number 3. Villain Unrivaled. When the main character woke up, he discovered that he had become the villain in the martial arts novel he wrote. But of all people, he possessed a body which belonged to a damn villain. He is now Hyuk Ryun Won, the fourth son of the demonic cult's leader, a nasty womanizer and a martial arts weakling with a filthy temper. He's a worthless villain who's one-shotted by the main character in the novel. If he doesn't want to be killed by the main character, he has no choice but to become strong. This is the shaking tale of a distasteful villain who uses whatever means necessary to survive. This Murim manhwa is a banger. Its art will give you same vibes as History of Three States. The story is also good. The main character has knowledge about the future because he's the one who wrote this novel, but both the main character and the villain have solid plot armors, which makes it even more interesting. Characters are written well. There are some army management type elements in it. I highly recommend giving this Murim gem a try. Number 2. Death God. To avenge his older brother, an orphan named Zhong Li Chu killed Huang Zhong, a heaven-slaying sect disciple. Zhong Li killed Huang in such a brilliant manner that he was taken in as a disciple of imitating Blade Killer of Soul Chambers. However, a huge mess called 10 chastisements was waiting for him. Chastisement means that they will be chased by a sect until they are killed. To escape the shadow of chastisement, he has no choice but to become a legendary death god. This is one of those top-tier Murim manhwas. The main character is a kid, but the way he took revenge for his brother was really satisfying. The story of this manhwa is well thought out. Pacing of the plot is the best, and it has one of the coolest chasing sequences in a manhwa. The side characters are written well and feel like a part of this world. The art is not top tier, but it still gets the job done with a ton of satisfying action, and most fight scenes are more linear towards the realistic side of things. Every single kill in this manhwa is done in a cooler way. I highly recommend giving this Murim gem a try. Number 1. A modern man who got transmigrated into the Murim world. Main character was a public official who worked part-time to survive. He was knocked out by a speeding car while making deliveries in the middle of the night. After he woke up, he became the second son of the collapsing Jogachol clan. This family was neither the authority to drop a flying bird nor the power to carry out one's will. There's only an enormous amount of debt that can annihilate the entire family. So basically, main character's family is piss poor, and they are also gonna die in a few days because their father took a massive loan from loan sharks, and they are gonna cut his family members if the debt is not paid. The main character uses his knowledge from his past life to make his father's smithy into something much bigger. He takes more loans and starts applying some capitalistic methods in this medieval Murim world. He's more of a realist at this point and uses all methods which can be explained in a humane manner. Later on, he receives the same red bead he received in his last life from his dad. It turns out that he is the descendant of some great people and their spirits live in that bead. They start helping him because he's their descendant, and they want him to destroy their family's rivals, who are currently the top #1 family in the whole Murim world. This manhwa is quite a banger. The main character is smart and uses his modern-day knowledge to the max. It also has some light comedic elements. Characters are written well, and they all stick with their roles. Art is also pleasing to the eyes. There's no real action yet, but the plot is progressing towards the main character learning some overpowered techniques. This is one of the most unique Murim manhwas. It also has a lot of business management elements. It's a must-try manhwa for everyone, even if you don't like Murim manhwas at all.